Hello, I'm back at episode number 450 of the TEW Challenge Run. This is going to be ECW for week 4 of November 2023, and it's the first show since Survivor Series, where the landscape of ECW changed a lot. We've got a new ECW World Champion. His name is Warden. He beat Dolph Ziggler and Roman Reigns in that triple threat match. We have a new ECW Television Champion, ZSJ, and of course he's going to be holding an open challenge tonight to find out who's going to be his first contender. Well, don't go find out who should be his first contender. We know who his first contender is. It's going to be the person who wants the open challenge. And yeah. ECW Women's Champion Julia is back after some shenanigans on SmackDown. Plus, our main event tonight is a 2 out of 3 falls match between Buddy Bloody Murphy and Zergus. Heading into the pay-per-view, which I think, I looked this up, ECW had a December pay-per-view they did called Holiday Hell. So I guess that's what we're going to call this pay-per-view. Because as much as I wanted to do the December to Dismember name, it has a stigma. So I guess it's going to be called Holiday Hell. And yeah, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. We kick things off with the opening segment. Warden does come out. New ECW champion, he gets pyro. He's there in a suit. Warden, he's him. Think back to a time in AEW when Wardlow was actually him. Before his booking got fumbled after he beat MJF last year. That's the Wardlow we're dealing with here, not current Wardlow. He comes out and goes, boy, it's been a long time coming for me to get my hands on this. I've proven myself time and time again that I'm on that upper level. I'm on that level of the tribal chief, that I should be the face of not just ECW, but the entire WWE. And here I am, ECW World Champion. Now, I've got to give a lot of credit to both my opponents from Survivor Series. I've got to credit Dolph Ziggler, the former ECW champion. He opened the doors for me to get here. The inaugural champion of this run. He won't be forgotten because what a run he had. But it's my time now. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Roman, he thought it was a given he was going to leave with this championship, but thanks to me and thanks to his cousins, that ain't gonna be the case. And now we stand here, the era of war is upon us. Out does come Dolph Ziggler. He goes, congratulations, kid. Champ. I knew that when I won that ECW championship, that, things don't last forever. And I knew that one day I would be dropping that championship. And I stand here and see you as the champion. I've just got to say one thing, We had a bit of miscommunication between each other, but I'm glad I dropped my championship to you and not to Roman Reigns. Because it's nice to see a new guy standing at the top of the mountain. And don't get me wrong, when you first came here in WWE, I thought you were just another meathead. I've seen guys like you come and I've seen guys like you go. Because guys like you are primed and picked out to be future world champions. And looking over guys like me. But now I see you standing here with my title. I see you're the real deal. So congrats, kid. And he gives out a handshake, and Warden does accept the handshake. He says, but, old DZ here, he knows how things work around here. He's been challenging for championships for too long to know how things work around here. You see, Warden, I want my rematch. And I want my rematch. I don't want my rematch tonight. I don't want my rematch at Holiday Hell. I want it next week. In Los Angeles, California. Warden just laughs. No, not laughs. Because he's not a heel. He sort of just smiles. He goes, Dolph, if it's a rematch of me that you want, I'll put your ass back in the ground to keep a hold of this championship. See you next week. So yeah. Already announced, I guess, next week, Warden's first defense of the ECW Championship will be against the former champion Dolph Ziggler. What a way to kick off December for ECW. Opening match gets an 82. That's pretty good. It is the Fritz brothers, David and Kevin, defeating Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali when Kevin pins Cedric in 1728. A 77 for David Fritz, 73 for Kevin Fritz, 91 for Mustafa Ali, and an 83 for Cedric. And then after the match, all of the Paragon, sans JC Jane, because she's got a match with Gigi later on, get in the ring. And Adam Cole goes, "Who's ready for story time of Adam Cole, baby?" Now, I'm sure that this story with Adam Cole, baby, you don't need to listen to my words, you can walk down to your nearest cinema and see it for yourselves, because you see, this is a story foretold on the silver screen, a story of the legendary Von Erich wrestling family. And the Von Erich wrestling family, in case you don't know, boys and girls, is one of tragedy. But there is a happy ending at the end of that tunnel. And ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at those happy endings right here. Kevin, David, the Fritz brothers, the modern day Von Erich brothers. And of course, with their family now once again back in the spotlight, back on the minds of all the people watching, Adam Cole, baby, I can't think of a better time to propel the Paragon back to the top of everybody's mountains here on ECW. You see, you got the Fritz brothers. They're going to be the next ECW tag team champions. You got Bobby Roode. He's going to be that television champion. Of course, Adam Cole, baby, when the time is right. Warden, watch your back, buddy, because I'm coming to take that ECW championship. Out comes Kyle O'Reilly. He says, "Adam, fancy seeing you here, old friend. You're probably wondering why I'm out here, and, you didn't think you'd ever see my face again, but I'll give you the blessing. You see, last week a lot of things became clear to me. Ever since me and you, old running mates, the Undisputed Era, ever since we went our separate ways, I've really lost my way. Now, sure, you've got this Paragon here. You think you're back on top. If you've tried to replace us, me and Bobby and Roddy. But I still see that deep down, you're still the same guy you were then. And even though I beat you at WrestleMania and I put an end to that chapter of my career, you're still this weird part of me that thinks that I have to beat you again to prove to myself that I belong." Adam Cole laughs. He goes, "Kyle, I almost didn't recognize you. It's been so long, since Adam Cole, baby, and the Paragon have been propelling themselves to the top. You and Roddy, you've sort of been meddling about, not really doing much, carrying around the undisputed name. Hey, I hope it works out for you." And Kyle goes, "This is exactly what I mean, Cole. You think you're above me, even though, last time we stepped in the ring, I beat your ass at WrestleMania. And how about next week, we run it back?" And then we just hear, Kyle! Roderick Strong walks out. Goes, Kyle, what are you doing, man? You haven't been texting my phone because I've left you voicemail after voicemail. Kyle. He goes, "Roddy, now is not the time, I understand, but I've been busy. And he looks across at Adam Cole. He goes, "Hey, Roddy, how you doing?" He goes, "Adam, leave Kyle alone, okay? Kyle's my friend, not yours, okay?" And he goes, "Kyle's not my friend, okay? I'm going to beat his ass next week, Roddy, but go check yourself out, man, You used to be a killer. You used to be the lethal part of the Undisputed Era, but now you're here, groveling to both me and Kyle." And I thought Bobby was pathetic. See you next week, baby. So again, next week, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, WrestleMania 38 rematch. Should be a hoot. We then get Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with Matt Cardona and Posse. And he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Cardona." She goes, "Matt, last week," he goes, "Mackenzie, it was wonderful. People thought that once I lost that television championship, that the era of the indie god, the end of the sports entertainment god, the end of the king of extreme was over. But I proved that it's only just beginning. You see, Rob Van Dam, he's a legend here. both in WWE and in ECW, and who beat him last week, Mackenzie? I did. Because I'm the greatest superstar, you know. You remember me? I came up in ECW too. You know, you got RVD walking around, thinking he's an ECW original, you know. Me and Kurt, we honed our craft on ECW. You know, 2008, it was a rough year. But, Mackenzie, I'm not finished. I won't stop until every single has-been who has stepped through the ECW door knows who their true king is. One by one, they'll all bow down to the King of Extreme. $70, yep, for the length and finish. That's about what I expected. Gigi and JC have their first match. It ends in a double count out because they keep fighting on the outside. This is the match where Gigi brings her brother front row and JC mocks him or whatever. And Gigi will jump on her, take both women down. Neither can answer the count of 10. And yeah, 68 for Gigi, 62 for JC, 70 for the match. After the match, though, the fighting continues. You know, people are trying to pull it apart. JC would take a cheap shot and hit Gigi in the face. I believe this was the brawl. You know, I'm basing this off the real life Toxic Attraction breakup. There was a brawl where JC got busted open. And I'd kind of like to replicate that because, you know, that's a cool visual. And then she, is beating Gigi up in front of her brother with her face bloody, you know. Parts of that angle are actually really well done. But it sort of, went on too long in the end. But yeah, I'm licking that because that was a good spot. But it seems a normal match couldn't contain these two women. We then see ZSJ backstage. Goes, listen up, dickheads. You know, you really thought that Dudley Dickhead and, you know, that big, baldy Braun Strowman were going to stop me from becoming television champion. You got another thing coming, you see. While I may have needed little Dudley's help to, you know, take down that big man, at the end of the day, there's only really one man fit for a television champion. One man who's going to go out there and deliver bangers. And that ain't Dudley Dickhead, that ain't Braun. Brawny-kins. It's me, ZSJ. Now tonight's my first night here on ECW as a champion. And I'm going to issue an open challenge to anyone who thinks they've got what it takes to hang in the ring with the technical wizard ZSJ and try and take my championship. Wes Lee is the one who answers. He comes out and we get ZSJ versus Wes Lee for the television championship here tonight. Gets an 88. There we go. This is why this man won the belt. But yeah, he does submit Wes Lee in 14 minutes and 6 with an Article 50 to make defense number 1 of the ECW Television Championship. 92 for ZSJ, 83 for Wes Lee. And yeah, big win for ZSJ, big match. Our new television champion is rocking here. We're already seeing a return on investment in that. Let's see Heyman's in his office. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman and I come to you tonight not as the wise man of the bloodline, not as an advocate, barely even as the general manager of ECW. Because I've got to break some awful news to the ECW fans around the world. You see, at Survivor Series, your tribal chief, my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, was competing in a triple threat match for the ECW World Championship alongside Dolph Ziggler and Warden, when two hooligans who used to call themselves ECW wrestlers, who used to call themselves Roman Reigns' family, hopped the barricade and delivered a double super kick and a 1D to your tribal chief. Now I know what Jimmy and what Jay are thinking because yes, we did ban them from ECW, and Survivor Series, that's not technically ECW, so bravo, boys. Bravo, you got one up on the tribal chief, but you must forget who calls the shots around here, because there'll be no more getting anything up on the tribal chief, because both of you want to provide for your family so bad. Well, too bad, because Jimmy, Jay, you're both fired, not from ECW, but the entire WWE. 75. There's a lot of lack of psychology here. But I've been scripting them. I'm putting good road agents on them all, so, there's not really much I can do. But Cora Jade does beat Sonya Deville. Double underhook DDT in 11:29. 76 for Cora, 77 for Sonya. After the match, she takes the mic and she goes, "There you go, now what an impressive win. Sonya Deville, former former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, I beat her. But our esteemed ECW Women's Champion is too busy showing up on SmackDown to deal with me. So, Survivor Series is over, champ. Come out here and meet me face to face." Julia does come out. And she says, "Last week you really showed your true colors, huh? You thought that you were disrespecting me by looking at your telephone, getting texts from Cammy and SmackDown. What is this place not good enough for you? Huh? Is the competition here not stiff enough for you? Well, look at me, Julia. I don't know what you're doing over there on SmackDown with those Queendom girls, and quite frankly, I don't care. You let Dakota in your group. That tells you all I need to know about the kind of people you are. Can't trust her as far as you can throw her. But all I care about is that championship, and that championship that you are holding. So you want your next challenger? Well, I'm laying down the challenge, Julia. You haven't got to look very far, because your next challenger, if you can dare to look me in the eye, is me." And Julia then takes the mic. And she goes, "I've been waiting. My business with Queendom is over. Now, I'm focused on you. You want to challenge me for my championship? Be careful what you wish for. Because I break girls like you." Mike slammed down. Yeah, there's the challenge. I guess accepted. The next ECW Women's Championship match, who knows when, will be Julia against Cora Jade. Next week, though, we only know 2 matches for next week's episode of ECW, but they are both Who Boy bangers. The first is Warden, making the first defense of his ECW World Championship against the former champion, Dolph Ziggler. And on top of that, we have a WrestleMania 38 rematch, 2 former best friends, now rivals, Adam Cole, Bebe, and Kyle O'Reilly, one-on-one once again, as Kyle O'Reilly looks to, put in the past that chapter of his career and move ahead, trying to become his own man here on ECW. 93, okay. I'm glad I did put this on last, because I expected it to do alright, and it did. We main event with 2 out of 3 falls. Bloody Murphy against Zergus. I really went back and forth on who I wanted to win this one. But in the end, I did give the victory to Bloody Murphy, winning with a Murphy's Law in 22.8 seconds. 84 for Zergus, 89 for Bloody Murphy. And yeah, 93 for the match. And I don't know about you, but it's a very big win in the main event of ECW for Bloody Murphy. That would hypothetically set him up for it as a nice challenger to the television championship or something like that. But anyway, that does end ECW. Show gets a 93. Pretty good show. Well, not pretty good, very good. The only thing below a green on this show was this Matt Cardona segment. But he's got a fun arc, Fighting the legends is always a good bit. And I'm sure you can tell where that's leading. if you've paid enough attention to the calendar and what city certain events are held in next year. But yeah, what matters more is what you thought of the show, so do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for SmackDown with... I mean, we'll save it for then, but a lot of explaining to do, both in kayfabe and out of it. See you then.